Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A answers video for The Walking Dead Season 5. This one will be number 8, and I'll add them all to a playlist so you guys can watch them. If you missed any of the previous ones, you got some time, you want to go ahead and watch them. I'm going to continue with your guys' questions. Let's do it. All right, great. So I'm coming down the line right now, getting close to the end of the initial set of questions that I got from basically everybody when I first asked. I got about 50, and so in part 8, I'm going to try to wrap up these 50, and then I'm going to have to create a new list. So if any of you guys have questions for me, want to hear me answer, give my thoughts on with regards to The Walking Dead, either Season 5 or the comic book series with current stuff, please send me private messages, and that way I can create a new list, and maybe I can continue doing Q&As like once a week or something, you know, every 3, 4, 5 days, that type of thing. I could do quite a few of them because there's lots to talk about. So with regards to this Q&A, the first question, which is actually number 43 overall, is from Connor Cunningham Hart of Blues, and he asks, what new environments, locations would you like to see? I'd like to see more urban locations, graveyards, schools, etc. Well, for the Walking Dead regular television series, I want to see more urban locations for sure. I think we got to see another cityscape pretty soon because I think those are really fun to see. Even though I can understand they're difficult to do, I want to see more of those. Having the characters walking around in the woods all the time, it gets old pretty quick. It does get old pretty quick, and I'd like to see some different locations in Season 5. Hopefully more roads, more highways, more stuff like that, where we can really see some cool stuff. The only thing I'm worried about is budget, because those could get expensive to do and difficult to do as well too for a TV series. For a movie, yeah, those, you see that all the time, but for a TV series, I think they've been smart to kind of keep it all low key and low traffic locations for The Walking Dead so far, because for budget that makes sense, but also for as a viewer, I'd like to see some locations like Atlanta and stuff like that again, with some really heavily populated type areas like cities and stuff like that. Graveyards are cool too. He lists that as well. In schools, I always kind of wanted to see a high school for some reason in a zombie apocalypse, even though I think we saw something like that in Season 2. Yeah, didn't we with Shane and Otis? Something like that. So that was kind of cool. I like to see more kind of just different stuff like that. I like the place that I like Terminus, and I like the place that Daryl and Beth found. I thought that was really cool to just see some different spots. They got to see some cool spots. The golf course, that was a good idea, and the house, of course, was a good idea too. So great question. Thank you. So yeah, the next one comes from Rachel Reedus. And she wants to know, she says, hey, Trev Chan, I have a question that I really need answered. People keep on telling me that Norman Reedus, which is Daryl, he's going to die in Season 5, and I'm really scared that if Daryl dies, and basically she goes on to say she's going to quit watching if he does, because she's a true fan. Well, obviously, because your YouTube username has his last name in it. So I don't think they're going to kill off Daryl anytime soon. I really don't. I think they have sort of more long-term plans for him. And I think that we're starting to come to a point where the days of constant deaths in The Walking Dead is going to be fewer and fewer as the series goes on further and further. In the first few seasons, especially like Season 3, we saw like T-Dog, Lori, like a lot of characters, Merle, and there was a lot of deaths, like half the Governor's crew and Andrea, and oh man, there was a lot of deaths early on in the series. But I think that going forward, we're going to see less of the main characters be killed off. So I think with Daryl, I think he's going to leave, to tell you the truth. I think we're going to see him leave and then possibly become Dwight from the comic books. So, and come back in later, like leave for a while and come back. But I don't think Season 5 we're going to see that. I think that's going to be like Season probably 6 or 7 we're going to see that. But I think he's going to survive for a long time. I wouldn't worry about them killing off Daryl anytime soon. People like him too much, and it does matter. If people like to see somebody, then they're not going to kill him off just like nothing. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that if you're a fan of Daryl. I'd be shocked if they did that. Next question is from Jamie Blair, and he or she wants to know what made you first read the comics. That's a good question. The Walking Dead comic book series, I got started reading that about, I want to say 2 to 3 years before, about 2 years before the television series started. I was really excited when I heard they were doing a TV series. Before the TV series was even out, when I read the comics, it absolutely blew my mind. Well, basically, I love comic books, always have. I used to be really into reading, a lot of comic books. I'd read a lot of DC and Marvel, a lot of the crossover events like Blackest Night and stuff like that. There's zombies in that, like they call themselves the Black Lanterns and Green Lantern, and just different stuff like that. Marvel zombies and that. I've always been a fan of zombies in the movies and everything. So when I was searching comic books on the internet, I heard from a few different review sites and things like that. They'd always be talking about The Walking Dead, and I thought, well, I should probably check this out. So I went to the comic book store and I grabbed a couple issues, and then I went back and I basically ordered on eBay a set of like all the trades, and I have most of the trades up to current time, like up to I think on trade 16 or 17, I started buying the individual books, comic books as they're released every week, and doing reviews of them. But basically. What made me first read it was hearing the buzz online about it, hearing the buzz about the comic book series, and then saying, okay, I got to check this out. And as soon as I did, I lost sleep that night. Once I got the trades, I read like the first 4 or 5, and it was like 3 a.m. and I had to work the next day at like noon or something. So like literally I would have, gotten, like 7-8 hours of sleep. And basically I said to I'm like, screw it, I can't stop reading. So I just kept reading, and then I went to work after like only sleeping for like 3 hours because I had read all of The Walking Dead the night before. That's how awesome it is. After you read issue 48, which is the final prison governor battle, I mean, it's just like it's so addictive after that, because it goes where no series I've ever seen really has gone before in terms of that. Now, since then, I've checked out some others like Game of Thrones and stuff that will have serious deaths, but The Walking Dead, like, it goes for it, man. And that was kind of a new concept to me. You don't usually see your protagonist's wife get killed and daughter get killed, like baby daughter. You just don't see that very often. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I first got into it from just hearing the buzz on the internet, basically. Next question is from Gohan8419. Sure, he probably likes my Dragon Ball Z videos as well, too. Very cool username. And he wants to know, Trav, do you think Carl will lose his eye in the television series? Like he does in the comic book series, obviously. That's a tough one, man. Actually, maybe I should do a video just on that one by itself. I think I'm going to save that one for a video because that's easier to do from a production standpoint than losing a hand, where they always have to do something with it like they did with Merle. So do I think Carl will lose his eye in the TV series? Oh, man. That's a tough one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to save that one for its own video. Sorry, not to answer your question, but I could see that one going either way. So I'll leave that for its own video. I'll have to think about that one for a little while. Good question, though. Next one is, why does AMC make all the trailers and webisodes American only? I can't find out why they do it. Maybe you have some answers. Pepin Sketches wants to know. This is what I would assume. I would assume that based on, it would have something to do with, I think, region advertisement, to tell you the truth. I think so. I think it would have something to do with the networks and advertising, because I know that internationally The Walking Dead is done through Fox internationally, I think. So I bet you, I would almost guarantee there's something there with regards to legal, like advertising for the network. Like AMC in the United States is able to advertise, but outside of it, they probably have a contract for distribution with Fox or something, and they're not allowed to send it out, or at least if they did, they could get in legal trouble for their agreement with Fox. Something like that. I bet you there's some kind of legal advertising or legal rights thing there, which is why they can't do it. I'm sure that's why. Now, next question comes from Faith St. Clair, and she wants to know, how much do walkers really retain? I was rewatching the series, and the little girl in season 1, episode 1 did something that I don't think any other walker has done. She picked up the teddy bear. I can't work out why. She's not the only one. Season 1, Morgan's wife also turns the doorknob, and we saw a walker pick up a huge rock and smash a glass with it. This is something that was I think that was a Frank Darabont thing, because he did that, and then after that we never saw that kind of stuff again after season 1. Yeah, and that's a Romero zombie thing where walkers will pick up things and they will think to a certain degree. In the television series, they've completely strayed away from that. Now, you could say it's because the brain started to decay too much, so they don't have anything, but when they're freshly turned, they have some kind of operation or something. I would suggest you watch my video on smart walkers, because I've talked about it quite a bit. Go to the channel, click on the search tool, and search for smart walkers, and you'll find it. Watch that. I go into a lot of detail about what I think on that. Basically, I like the concept of smart walkers. I think it's really interesting. And yeah, I think the theory is fine that after a short period of time or a little bit of time, their brain will decay and they won't think to the same degree, you know what I mean? Like their brain won't process after that. So when they're freshly turned, they may do stuff like pick up rocks and, grab things that were important to them, like a teddy bear, out of habit, just from, some kind of activation in the brain causing them to do so. I love that concept. I think it's a great idea, and I wish we would see more of it in the Walking Dead. But Romero goes with that a lot. If you watch his movies, you'll see a lot about that kind of analysis of zombies and how much they know and what they can be taught to do and stuff like that. Yeah, even shoot a gun and stuff. So watch some of the Romero movies if you want to, kind of see that and see how you feel about that. I think it's cool. And then we'll finish up with 2 more. Second last question is, do you think they want to make the character Morgan a part of the group like in the comics, but Lenny James is unavailable to do it full time? Will they think about recasting the role? Okay, I don't think they're going to recast him no matter what, because he's such an amazing actor. Yes, I think they do want to get him, and I think he's too busy, and I think that's causing trouble. In addition to that, though, you have a lot of characters in there right now. Like you have a lot of strong males. You have Abraham, you have Rick, you have Daryl, you have Tyrese. I mean, you've got a lot, So at this time right now, I don't think it's absolutely crucial that you bring in Morgan. I mean, I think Morgan's one of the most fascinating characters in the series. So the sooner the better. But it's pretty packed right now. So I could see them, because Lenny James is doing other stuff, waiting for a while and bringing him in a couple seasons or something. Who knows? Because the thing is, if he's busy, they can't bring him in full time if he's got to be overseas at some points filming in the UK or wherever. They can't do it. So it causes a lot of trouble. So I think they do want to bring him in, but I think that it's going to be, it's probably going to be later on. They'll have to set it up with him, and he'll have to have a clean slate. So hopefully nothing he works on will work out. Hopefully all the series he's on will get canceled, except for The Walking Dead. That's what I kind of been hoping. It happened with Low Winter Suns. Hopefully it'll happen with whatever other UK shows he's working on at whatever time it may be. And the last question is from Jessica Curry. She wants to know, what do you think the powdered milk was doing there outside the train car? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So the powdered milk, I think I've gotten this one before, actually. It's common. And basically, I talked about it in the Baby Judith video. What do I think we'll see from her? It's possible her, Tyrese, and Carol are there already, but I think it makes more sense that they were just kind of giving that to people to feed them. So whether or not Carol and the others are there or not, I guess we'll have to wait and see in the trailer, which should be fairly soon, actually next couple months. And that's a good question. But, I don't think it's natural for the characters at Terminus to, like, what would they do with a baby? You know what I mean? I don't think they would kill a baby. I don't know. That's a tough one. But watch my video on that if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that possibility. I think it's just food that they had that they gave to the people to kind of, get them plump or whatever. And that's it for my initial round of questions that I had from you guys. So if you have more, send them to me. We'll do more Q&As. And pretty much that's all I got to say for this one. I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. See you for the next one. This is Trav, as always. Stay in peace.